Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Money Grabs. Like in my previous video, we may mention about the reason for the cutbacks and the reason why the cluster head and everybody is making some moves to make extra money, and the reason why it's advisable to give this thank you money. At the same time, it's advisable for the cluster head and the NGOs not to siphon money or not to overcharge people like percentage when it comes to this thank you money that we talked about. Now, the is creating another big issue in the grant ecosystem because all this information that you are getting now is not meant for the public consumption. Is a thing that the grant handlers wishes to keep under the carpet. They don't want it to be in the open because of one reason or the other. And I think if you understand the ecosystem, you will know that they would not like this information to be flying around. It's something that they wanted it to be like secret between the grant handlers and the NGOs and between the NGOs and their cluster head and their subscribers. But now it's coming to light and it's creating a lot of tension for them. And that is the aftermath of disappointment or aftermath of delay. When there is delay, people start digging, and the more they dig, the more they will start finding out things. Now, let me explain further, but before I go, welcome to the Money Grass. Be part of this channel, subscribe. Click on the subscribe button so that you can get information per time as we are dropping it. Now, let's dive into it. Some information that I was able to get access to, it made it clear, maybe it is true or false, but I got it from a reliable source, and the only people that can come out and debunk it are the grant handlers or some of the NGOs that are high up there. We are made to understand that this percentage that will be charging this cutback is not something that will be as in consumed alone by the cluster head or the NGOs. That some of this percentage is fixed from the top and the money is going from down upward to cover for the expenses that some of these grant handlers have incurred in the process of securing and maintaining this grant. Now, if the amount is fixed, then the NGOs will want to put their own, then the cluster head will want to put their own. And that is what has resulted into the situation whereby some NGOs are asking for 30%, 25% to or up to 50% of this total disbursement per individual, per subscriber. So the point that we know is they have millions of subscribers, and if they charge that kind of amount, they are talking about a lot of serious billions, which too much, because I don't think any NGO single-handedly or any grant handler is single-handedly invested up to $1 billion in this process. I don't think so, because most of the time that they needed anything, they always turn back to the NGOs and charge their NGOs. Last month, an NGO told me that they have to pay the grant handlers $500,000, that they are charged to pay $500,000. And some, they will pay more million. Even I said this, I think 2 weeks ago, which one NGO contacted me, that their grant handler is demanding for $500,000 from their NGO. That if they refuse to pay, that they are going to remove their slots and give it to other people that are willing to pay. So assuming these grant handlers are charging the NGOs, then how come they are still demanding for cutback from the NGO, through the NGO from the subscribers back to the grant handlers? So it seems that greediness or that greediness activity is flowing from the top. And that is why when they say the top is corrupt, what do you expect from the people at the middle or the down floor? So we should not just focus on the grant handler, the NGOs or the other people at the middle, the cluster head. We should focus to the top, the grant handlers. What are they demanding from the NGOs, and what are the NGOs demanding through this through the middleman to the subscribers? Talking about cluster head. So these things is a chain reaction. The grant handlers are demanding for something, and the NGOs will demand from the cluster head, and the cluster head will demand from the subscribers. So until they have a uniform thing, nobody is saying that they should not get money, but until they agree on a reasonable amount and charge, then tell the NGOs what is expected of them. to charge, something that is not going to affect, because when people get this money, people have been waiting for it for long. People have plans, prices of things have increased compared to the last day, some years ago when people started applying for this process, for this grant. And if you take more than half or half of the money, what do you expect them to do? And some of them say it's free money, anything you get, go and manage it. Then what's the point? Anything you get and you waited for 9, 8 years to get it. So they are not coming out yet to debunk it or to clarify. I know they will be having a secret meeting among themselves to iron things out, because all of them, they have set their eyes on houses and buildings they want to buy in Banana Island and Lekki and whatever. So they just want to make billions, billions, billions from this thing. So this is just like consider the situation, because we have been blaming the government all this while. They don't want the best for the country, for the citizen. Now are we going to turn against the grant handlers to that? They don't want the best for the citizen. All the fight that they claim they are fighting, they are just fighting for their pockets. They are using us, because without the subscribers, they will not be there to get grants, because if you don't have followers, you don't have people that subscribe to you, you will not be counted at anything and your grants will not come. So now they are using us and they want to give us peanuts like, oh, thank you for making yourself available for us to use you to make our billions. And that is the concern. So all these things are not meant for the general public consumption, but it's because of the delay and these things start coming out. And because there is a change in agreement, and the change was explained earlier on, the change is when they don't want the cluster head to get anything extra other than the same among the subscribers, then the cluster head turn into, they try to activate their scamming mode. And now they are trying to get money any means, any way, removing names, selling names, changing names, changing names, doing anything to get their money back. So and like one NGO said last night, that one of the NGO that I spoke to last night, the NGO said they cannot give the cluster head money, anything, any commission, that the cluster head should talk to the subscribers that they brought, if the subscribers can arrange money. But imagine now, the NGO will still get his or her own percentage, but want the cluster head to now talk to the people to get their own cut. Now, let me answer some questions based on the questions that people throw at me in my comment section. Some people say, can't the grant handlers cut their cutback before sending money to the NGOs? And some say, can't the NGOs remove their cutback before sending money down to the cluster or to the to the subscribers? And the answer is a little bit tricky, because there is a body that is monitoring this disbursement, and that body will follow that disbursement from the grant handlers all the way down to the account of the subscriber. That means you 1 million, they have signed agreement that 1 million will be disbursed to the subscriber. That 1 million must get to the account of the subscriber. That is why they cannot cut anything from the grant handler side. The NGO cannot cut anything. Anybody in the middle, maybe cluster, cannot cut anything. The 1 million must get to the account of the subscriber. And that is why they need the subscriber to do cutback. That means when you get it, you now send them their thank you money separately. But they don't trust many subscribers that they will do that cut back. And that is why many of them have started trying to squeeze and get their money even before disbursement. That is why they are trying to get what they can get before disbursement, so that when they get it, if you don't pay, they will let you go. So that is the issue. But it's so crazy. But we believe the grant handlers will work on something better, profitable for everybody, and everybody will be smiling. We are still expecting money on 28th to start. Pioneer people, they are still dancing and waiting for their joy. They are waiting for their alert. So we hope it's going to come to manifestation, so that other people in line can sit tight and start expecting theirs. So that is it for now. No other news other than people that are scamming anybody, scamming you, scamming that, scamming this one, using Pioneer name to scam people. Other than that, the remaining discussion is the cutback that people are discussing about the percentage that is too high and is not uniform. Although it might be uniform from the grant handlers, but when the people that start talking, they start putting their own, everything is not uniform again. But that is it for now. Some people ask me about my contact, my personal contact. My personal contact has not come. That means there is no disbursement. And as we know now, there will not be disbursements this week until 28. So maybe next week when it's close to 28, the person will come, because the person have to come when disbursement is certain, and disbursement is not certain. We only have a date, but it's not yet certain until that person know that it's certain before that person come to the country. So thank you very much, and continue to enjoy your evening, have fun, and if you have any more information, put it in the comment section so that everybody can still learn from it. I believe I've answered the questions. I believe that is so clear. I believe we passed a message to the grant handlers to know our position, and for them to like have a rethink, come up with a uniform percentage or cutback or whatever that they want. People are willing to pay, but at the same time, don't over squeeze people for it, because when people want to help and want to contribute and you're over squeezing people, some people will get to that boiling point and just refuse to do anything, and it's not going to favor anybody. So thank you. Have fun.